Now, you all run businesses in different styles and you all speak to different business owners. We have a product that enables them to concentrate on what they're passionate about, whether that's hair and beauty, whether that's Sure Revolution, whatever they may be. If they've got an office or a premise, then we can help them. You all live in residential world as well, so you know how difficult it is to find the right tariffs for these types of things. So we offer a service which is about building a relationship with that company and not selling to them. It's about a consultative approach to bring to them what is on the market and let them make an informed decision, and also to help them future-proof their business, that as they grow, we will assist them as they grow and make sure that they don't get caught out, because all of these suppliers, no matter you name any supplier on the market, they will try and catch you out. And Nicola said earlier, they rely on apathy, and they genuinely do. They very naughty companies, but I can't slate them too much because I've created a business on the back of it. So I'm just going to run through a quick slideshow for you. These are the services that we offer. So we look after electric and gas contracts. We look after all levels of telecommunications and mobiles, including the internet services, card processing, business insurance, solar and renewable energy, energy efficiency services, and we have a platinum service for larger end clients. That means that they never have to speak to a supplier again, ever. I don't really ever like the word broker, but I suppose in a way that's what we are. Why use one? So what we do is we manage the administration. We terminate the contracts at the right time, because what these companies do is they have different windows depending on the company you're with. And I'll show you why in a second. We compare the full market without the hassle of them having to ring every supplier up and try and find the right tariff for them. There are 5,000 tariffs available to business for electricity per day. If you look in the bespoke market, it's tens of thousands. So how the business is supposed to find the right one? Well, they make it confusing for their benefit. We keep it simple. I'm going to show you some quotes in a minute, and even you guys that have no experience in this industry, you'll be able to read these quotes and you'll be able to see how easy they are. And we can usually renew contracts with existing suppliers cheaper than the company can go and find them themselves directly. Everyone is in contract nearly all of the time. The customer receives a letter to renew them to saying, thank you for being a customer for the last year, a lovely fluffy letter, and on the back of it, it said if you don't respond in 14 days, you're in another contract for another year and your rates will double. So you go from spending £3,000 a year to £6,000 a year just because you ignored a letter. Rollover prices can be 100% higher than what they are, and if you don't agree a contract, then you go into what you'd call deemed rates, and they are 100 to 150% higher than what a standard contract price would be. These are all the different windows for different suppliers, and you can see why it's confusing. So one supplier has a 90 to 120 day termination window, next one 60 days, next one 28 days. You can see the list there, and there you go. It's designed to be confusing for their benefit. The benefits to customers are that we guarantee savings without the hassle. In fact, if you want to refer any business onto them, if we want to waste their time, we'll give them £100 if we cannot find them a saving. So I'm that confident that we can do it. We have a dedicated account manager, so wouldn't it be nice to be able to ring up one person who would deal with all of this for you, instead of having to speak to one person with Eon, one person with BT, one person with your mobile, one person with your insurance. You can just speak to one person who will give you a full market view and make you understand it, so you are not having the wool pulled over your eyes. We're independent. We're not tied to any particular supplier. We have full ongoing management support. We have no selling. It's a wide range of services. We're ethical. And the best of all, it is 100% free. We do not charge the business one single penny. The logical question would be, where do we make our money? Well, we charge the supplier. So in your side, I left a little green envelope full of stuff on your desk. On the left-hand side of that is a quotation for electricity supply for a company called Saplings Property Management. You would think a property management company would be quite good at managing gas and electric contracts. It's actually the first 2 pages, so have a browse through that. You can see, if you look on the top line, you can see what the gentleman is paying. He's paying 13 pence a day standing charge with a 16 pence unit charge. Now that's his annual fee will be £3,256. We then searched the market and found a price that dropped from 13 pence a day to 6.4, from 16 pence a unit to 10.48, which made his bill drop by £1,137. That's a 3-year contract, so the saving on that was about £3,500. On the second page, the saving is a bit bigger, it's £4,500. That's £9,000 to that business. Paul, who's a lovely fella, Paul Long, who's a short man, which is quite ironic, he saved £9,000, but he looks at me and he says, Kristian, you've made an error here. I said, well, what do you mean I've made an error? He says, well, I'm with Eon. I'm like, yeah. He says, well, you're renewing me with Eon. I said, yeah. He says, well, I don't get this. You don't charge for your service, so why the hell would Eon pay you for reducing my bill by £9,000? It doesn't make any sense, which is a fair point. What we've done for Eon is we've actually wrapped that customer up for the next 3 years. They make very good money out of Paul still. They're just not ripping me off anymore. Now, Eon have not got to pay for administration. They've not got to pay for sales, credit checks, all of these things from a customer. We deliver that customer package to Eon for the next 3 years, and they pay us for that. Simple. So Eon's happy. They get a customer they get for the next 3 years. Paul's happy because he's reduced his bill by £9,000, and we're happy because we've got a customer now for life. So for once, everybody wins. Normally, people think there's a catch. There is another one here, which is in my range of service, in my pack here, which is one I'm actually most passionate about. It's the back one, which says the Business Work Service. It's Hunslet Car Social Club, which is not far from here. A lovely man called Arthur. He runs the club. He is very good at pulling pints, not very good at managing contracts. They are actually losing £10,000 a year. They probably wouldn't be here now. In fact, they wouldn't. And we actually saved on their electricity contract last year £14,312, a gas contract of £9,000 and a telecoms contract of £1,200. The saving to Arthur and Hunslet Car Social Club was £24,000, £652.99. The cost to Arthur was zero. So that's not the one that may be the most money in my life, but certainly the one I'm probably most passionate about. And I've got free snooker for life in there as well, so whenever I'm driving past. The benefits to you, I suppose, as a referral partner or somebody that you guys speak to businesses all the time, and you speak to people all the time. We want to try and enhance your relationships with your customers. We offer transparent payments for you, so you can see whenever we do a sale, you will get rewarded for it, for passing that business on to us. You're on commission on every sale, so anything we go through, any contract, any utility that we manage, you will be given a fee of 15% straight paid to you. You can earn up to 50%, but that's for people that want to take it to the next level and actually go and represent us. Sure, earn commission on every sale that any of you guys do, or anything that comes through. Alice has passed somebody on to me yesterday that we can do a lot of work with. Paul's working on several for us as well, so obviously what we're going to try and do is enable Sure then to keep pushing on, and I'm going to show you some interesting numbers in about 10 minutes' time. If you refer me a partner, so somebody similar to Paul who's going out and visiting businesses who maybe not be part of Sure, but you pass them on to us. Alice's gentleman that he passed on yesterday is also a utility warehouse rep. So they're great for residential product, but they can't compete with us in business. So he's going to have two strings to his bow. He can go and represent and speak to residential customers, but he can also speak to any business people as well. And you earn commission for life. So as long as that customer is with us, if they're still with us in 10 years' time, we will still be paying you the fees that come on the back of the sales for us. What's a quality referral? From us, it needs to be business only. We're not a residential product. They must pay their bills. We only get rewarded by the suppliers if the people we set up with direct debits and they pay their bills on time. The contact knew who we were, who we are, and why we are calling. They must be the decision maker, really, because there's no point speaking to the janitor. It doesn't work. And they're obviously happy to save money, which hopefully they are. What's the catch? There's no catch. There's no cost. There's no obligation. They can take the prices. If they want to, they can go back to the supplier and they can agree with them with the supplier if they want to. They're obviously not the customers that we want to work with long term. There is no contract with us. We do not have a contract with my company. It's about trust. So they come back to us because they want to. We have a 90% retention rate. There is no invoices. There's no hassle. It's a personal service where they have one person they can speak to, and there's no catch. Okay. Little thing really to, I suppose, for good things to speak to and mention to people that maybe would be interested in our service is the fact that there is hassle with building suppliers. We've all had that. Rip-off energy companies, we just have to look at the papers quite often that you can see that what these companies do. The price rises of energy, rollover contracts. An ideal customer is somebody that's moving from one office to another. They've got a lot on their plate when they're moving from one place to the next place. We will actually deliver them into their new offices with phone lines, broadband, gas electric contracts set up. And if there's a debt on the account, we'll deal with it, we'll get rid of that for them so they start on a nice clean slate. We look for long-term relationships with the businesses that we work with. And like I said, new startups. Ali, Gordon has asked me a few times about startups. They get so caught out because the first thing you think, I'll go and put a phone line into my business, I'll get into a 5-year contract with BT. We have contracts with other suppliers that, would you believe, are 99% cheaper than what BT's contracts are. It's incredible. 99%. This is a case study of a company up in Rawdon, near where I am, which is, this is what we did across their range. You can see there with electricity costs, sorry, I missed the top off. The costs, this is what the savings are. So we saved them 45% off their electricity, 8% off their gas, 15% off their telecoms, 50% off their maintenance. We need that. Where's the Gordon Tennant we need in here for the maths on that last bit there. Card processing 10%, which is actually quite a big fee, and insurance all the way through. So we saved them £3,893. We made, as a company, £6,336 for doing that. So the referral fee back to you for passing that business on to us would be 950 quid for the last year, which is not bad for talking to some businesses for me. That is a genuine case study. So we've actually used them to roll over on the next figures, which you can flick through for me. If as an individual or a business but collectively as a group, we look at one referral, that one referral would make you £408 over the next 3 years. But if you just pass one across a month, the figures get quite interesting. So you know it's £3 a year just added into your thing. It's a nice holiday once a year, maybe if we're just passing as one across a month. If as a collective group we can start to get something along the lines of 10 a month, the numbers over the next 3 years are quite interesting. Now there's 5% of that obviously additional to Shaw on the back of that, which I'm sure will help us to grow as a collective. And if we can get a few reps out with us and selling some products for us, well, the numbers are quite exciting. They're there for us to share between us. It's built into my model to do so. I'm passionate about this group because I think as a group we can help each other. We can grow together, and I can help fund some things and some equipment and things like that to help us grow. Projects, yes.
If I give this pack to my butcher, because I can't explain it to him, will you understand me?
No. Well, they kind of will. They'll have an understanding because that butcher has probably at some point been caught out by some contractor, one or another. I suppose the point is what we're trying to do here is to try and say we will come out and visit the butcher. We need 10 minutes of his time. My only fee ever is a cup of coffee. And we'll bring Matthew along, and Matthew will be able to understand what we do as a company. We'll be able to set them up, and all we need is the bills off the butcher. We go and set them up, and we'll remind them at the right time. Whenever a contract comes to renewal, we'll give them a call. We'll say, well, this electric contract is coming up for renewal. Would you like us to look at it? And he says yes or no. He's got no obligation to us whatsoever, so he can't lose. But he's passionate about chopping up meat, all right, and selling high-quality products to his customers. Does he want to deal with this every time it comes up? No, he doesn't. But the problem is people are quite wounded by people who have sold to them in the past, people who have maybe a broker that's not got the same ethics that we have as a company, and they think they've heard it all before. But ask them to go and look on the internet. There is not one company out there like us. There is no company that offers no charge, that manages all of these contracts, that has an ethical and personalised approach, and tries to build a relationship with that butcher that we can be trusted by him. So he goes, yes, of course, just go and deal with that for me. I just want to make sure. So we'll say, right, sometimes there is sometimes an increase, but we'll make sure the increase is as little as possible. We can't control the fact that electricity prices are going up, but what we control is to make sure that that price doesn't jump to what it could do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I give him this
Alistair passed on a referral the other day, and you know what he said to the gentleman? He says, you should give Kristian, it's a very nice thing what he said about to me. He says, would you like to give Kristian a call? Because he's a very nice man, okay? And the guy rang me yesterday. So, you know, maybe that's an approach that we just need to, because I'll give him a call, I'll chat through it. He can call me, you know, whenever it's convenient, whenever, back end of the day, whatever he wants. And these are local businesses, we'll go out and visit them initially to get them set up. And we'll go and visit them personally, and then we can manage it remotely for them. They don't have to worry about it. So my card's on there. I'll give you a little business card. There's loads more here if you want to take some extra ones with you. Ask him to give me a call. We'll get someone to set it all up for them and just have a nice informal chat with them. So thank you. Yeah. Energy efficiency is about trying to teach people ways to actually reduce the costs in a business. It might be lighting. It might be they have a compressor that's inefficient. So we will actually go and give them an audit to say, right, these are the top 10 things that you can do in the next year. Now, a compressor might cost £19,000 to buy, but in less than a year, it will pay for itself back. So we'll highlight everything transparently for them and teach them ways to reduce costs. Now, people have said to me that, Kristian, you're a bit stupid here, because if you're teaching people to use less energy, surely you make money the more units you pass across to the supplier, which is dead true. We do make less money if we teach them to use less energy. But that's what we're about. We're about trying to offer the company, they're either going to get it from us or they're going to get it from somebody else. Now, we want them to come to us because they trust us and they want to. If we can introduce these savings to them in ways of reducing costs, we know in my office that the girls want the heating on all the time and I always want the windows open. So we set certain rules within an organisation. You teach the company how to use less energy. And that's what we're about. We're about offering that rounded service to a customer because that's what they want. It makes me less money, but longer term it will make me more money. It's a very different market when it comes to large energy, a very different market. It's like the stock exchange. We have to monitor that and we remind our customers at the right time when the best time to purchase energy at large end. And the girls and guys in my office, it's a skill. They have to have relationships with the suppliers because it's about bartering. It's a little bit more, it's not like a matrix, which is a standard prices which the companies release. It's a very different ball game, but it's something that we're launching a new website which is called TBW Energy, which will be specific for large end companies. And teach them and develop them and ways to reduce costs and also make sure that the tenders are right because it's big money. And I'm going to show you one. It's actually it's called Oriel Printing, which is about 5 pages back. It's here, it's this one. The company spends £105,000 a year on energy. They were under another broker, one of my competitors called Energy. Energy tried to give them some very bad advice a year and a half, 2 years ago, and tried to wrap them into a second contract not far after signing the first one at Christmas time. Christmas time's a bad month for me on sales because people have to get to the 14th of December really don't care about gas and electricity anymore. They were too busy buying presents and drinking. But Energy were trying to force them into a sale, put them into a month where they would make more money, but not in the customer's benefit. The gentleman called Richard Sims rang me up and asked me my advice, and then I said, don't do it now, it's the worst month of the year, because it's the coldest, supply and demand, the coldest month of December and January. It's silly to, supply and demand. So what we did is we asked him to wait till April, and then he saved £7,161 on 2 years ago prices, which is pretty unheard of. So it's 6.8% of his total bill, which doesn't sound dramatic, but he could have had an increase of about 5 or 6% on that. So it's probably a saving of about £13,000-14,000. And he's written us a lovely glowing testimonial that I'll happily send to you. The one at the back, which is a charity called Groundworks, which is based over in Morley. And just to show you, we do telecommunications as well. The saving on this, you can look through all the costings, etc. It's all laid out in a very simple to understand way. But the saving was £7,877 just by moving their phone lines from one supplier to another. From a charity, it's ridiculous money. I quite like the fact that we can help any business. We can help a one-man band who's a plasterer who has a mobile phone contract. We can help on that respect because we work with Orange, Vodafone, T-Mobile, 3 and O2. All we do is we make that. Well, how do you use your phone? Which of these tariffs is best for you? Because, as you know, the phone world is quite confusing. So yeah, but we can also work. The larger they are, the more they actually respect the service. It seems to be. They can be anywhere in the UK. because we can do it remotely. That, you know, we don't have to go and see them. I'm not going to drive to Torquay just to see one business, but if it was a multiple business, I would happily go and drive home, really. I'm from Torquay. So, yeah, geographically, it doesn't matter where they are in the country. Absolutely, no problem whatsoever. The one frustration I have, and the one thing I'd like to get to the camera, really, is the fact that people think this is a good idea, but they then struggle to go and register. And all they have to do is register. They don't have to take any service that we offer, but they ring us up then 6 months later and say, oh, Kristian, I thought about doing it, and I didn't do it, and now I'm in a contract for another 2 years with X, Y, and Z, and I'm paying double. Is there anything you can do? No. I can't. Okay, before Christmas, there's a local company to us, a gym, who rang us up before Christmas, and we offered them a price. We went back and offered them another price, and it was the supplier then rang them up and offered them a contract which was 50 quid cheaper than what we found them. Now, this company pays £20,000 a year, by the way, so 50 quid is not a lot of money when it comes to that. And I'd hope our service is probably worth that. It's unusual we don't find them a saving, but this particular occasion it was 50 quid more expensive. We knew inside knowledge that that company was about to pull its commercial power angle and go just into residential. We told her this, she ignored it. They said they wouldn't have offered me a contract if that wasn't the case. I got a phone call in mid-January stating that the company had pulled the commercial power angle and they're left on deemed rates, which are, like I said, 80 to 100% more expensive. Now, it takes then a month to 2 months to then put them back into contract with another supplier. That 50 quid then turned into £3,500 more expensive because she didn't listen to the advice that we gave her, which is a shame, but now she's back as a customer and I don't think she'll go make the same mistake twice. We did an installation for solar power onto a company called Sinclair's in Otley, which is a £500,000 solar installation. The company is going to make several £1 million in a return on that investment over the next 12 to 14 years. Everything again is laid out and transparent, but interestingly from your point of view as well, the return for the referral fee, the profit was £25,000, so you would take 15% of that for us doing a good deed and giving that company the ability to make a lot of money and make you some money. And like I said, we look at all the monitoring and targeting. We actually produce reports to show them when they're using energy. It delivers to the director's desktop that can show them when the peaks and troughs are throughout the day, when they're using energy, when they're not using energy. What you often can't do is you can't change the peak capacitor, because when the companies, if it's a sheet metal work, when their machinery is at full tilt, you can't change that because that's what they do as a company. But what you can change is the things that when the company's not at full tilt, the things in the day, the things in the night. Why are you using energy at night time? Well, you shouldn't be. What's using that? What are you wasting energy on? And it's trying to teach them ways to actually reduce their costs through very simple and transparent ways. There are tax breaks, of course there are, because obviously you're putting equipment on there, you're talking along the lines of, corporation tax, you're reinvesting, etc., etc. You're investing in your business. You don't necessarily have to go and do it in a corporation tax way. You can reinvest that money back into your company. And there are obviously feed-in tariffs, which are very confusing to the average person. Every house should have solar on their roof, but it's so confusing to go and do it. What we're doing is trying to make them incentives that the government put in place transparent and easy for the business to understand. And the equipment that we get in for solar particularly is not some knockoff China stuff. It's actually, it's high quality merchandise that's guaranteed for 25 years. It's guaranteed to produce exactly what is said on that report when we produce it, and it always has to follow the government's golden rule. Whatever you invest always gives a return on investment. Thank you. Thank you very much for your ears. Thank you.